Hello everyone, my name is Hannah and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a book unhaul. I have a few books here that I have already taken off my shelves and decided that I am ready to part ways with, and then I'm going to go through my shelves and pick some off of my shelves to get rid of. So I have a feeling that there's going to be like a fair few, at least 30, I think. Some unhauls I have that I've done on my channel, I've had like over 60 or 70 books, and then some I've had like 20 or 30. I think this is going to be more like one of the 20 or 30 ones, but without further ado, let's get into the books that I want to get rid of. So like I said, I have a little stack here of books that I've already taken off my shelves and already decided to unhaul, and I've just kept them in a little pile on my floor. So the first one that I have here is Fireborn by Rosaria Munda. I gave this a shot. I think I got 20% of the way through it, I don't know, 150 pages, 150 pages in, and I just didn't care about anything that was happening. It's a YA fantasy where it's a dragon rider school, and I just felt nothing for the story. I wasn't curious, I wasn't intrigued, I just didn't feel anything. It's not bad or anything, I just didn't care. So I decided to DNF it, and I probably won't pick it up again. So I'm gonna get rid of this one. Kind of similar is I Want to Die But I Want to Eat Tteokbokki by Baksihi. This is a memoir. It's kind of pitched as a self-help memoir where she transcribes her therapy sessions, and it's literally written me says something, psychiatrist says something, me says something. And I didn't get very far into this. I want to say I got maybe 50 pages into it, and I wasn't getting anything out of it that I was supposed to. I didn't really like the transcript style of writing, and so I just decided I'm not gonna continue reading this, and I'll just pass it along to somebody who can hopefully get something more out of it than I did. This next one I haven't read yet, but I'm still gonna unhaul it, and that is Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Roerick. This I bought because I have had this recommended to me once before, and I saw it in a half price books for $10, and I was like, all right, might as well. But then my friend Rachel over at Ravenhaired Reader read this one, and I think she gave it 3 stars, but she read and really did not enjoy the second book, and she DNF'd it and is DNFing the series, and said it was too similar to another book that we've already read, and it was just too hard for her to get past that. And she just did not have very glowing things to say about this one, so I just kind of lost interest in it. And it is on KU, so if I ever did want to pick it up, I could just read it on KU, but I just decided to get rid of it because, yeah, I just lost interest. Next up is a Book of the Month selection that I just didn't get around to. It's called Anna Maria and the Fox by Liana de la Rosa. I picked this one mostly because I kind of when I had my Book of the Month subscription, I felt I had to choose a book every month, and it was kind of pointless for me to just keep skipping every month. And at the time I was in a historical romance kind of mood, and I just don't really have any strong pull to pick this up, so I'm just gonna get rid of this one. Kind of similar to that is An Impossible Imposter by Deanna Raybourn. This is the 7th book in the Veronica Speedwell mystery series, which I absolutely love. It's a 5-star series. I think I gave this book 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I cried while I read this. I love this book so much. It's one of my favorites in the series, but I have the rest of the series in paperback, and so I got the paperback to replace this, and so I can pass the hardcover along and hope somebody loves it just as much as I do. This is no shade to this book or the series. I love it so much. I just don't want the hardcover. I have 2 more Deanna Raybourn books right here. So I have The Dead Travel Fast, which is a standalone, and I think I got about halfway and I wasn't really enjoying this one, so I DNF'd it, and I don't think I'll pick this one up again. I didn't really care about this one, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And then I have Silent in the Sanctuary by Deanna Raybourn, which is the 2nd book in the Lady Julia Gray series. When I bought this, I thought it was the full trade paperback, but it's one of the mass market paperbacks. Oh, there's a bookmark in there. I did recently read this one, and it was fine, but yeah, I don't need the mass market paperback. I might also, sneak peek, be getting rid of the series that I have on my shelf. And then these next 3, honestly, I'm gonna put these in a maybe pile and in a timeout corner. They've got a ticking time bomb on them. If I don't read them, let's say by Halloween, if I don't read them by Halloween, they're for sure going. But these ones I'm I want to unhaul them because I don't have any interest in reading them right now, but maybe my mood will change and I'll want to pick them up, and since I already own them, I don't know, I'm really weird, so whatever. The first one is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I feel like everybody and their mother has read this book, and most people really, really love it. I know Lachlan did not enjoy this as much. I think she liked the first half, and it really fell apart for her in the second half. But everybody else that I've seen read this has absolutely loved it. Kara loved it, Rachel loved it, and so I was like interested in it, but I don't know, every time I think about picking it up, I'm like, I don't know if I'd like that. I don't know if that sounds like my kind of book. I love the cover. But yeah, I don't know if I'll pick this one up, but I'm gonna put it in the maybe pile. It's on the chopping block right now. Maybe you can convince me to pick it up. I don't know. The other two I have here are romances, and honestly, you know, I'm looking at them right now, like, yeah, I don't have interest in like picking them up now, but I do really want to read these, so maybe I won't get rid of these. It's the Happy Ever playlist by Abby Jimenez and Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. I do want to read these. When I'm in a romance mood, I want to read these. This is the last Abby Jimenez book that I have yet to read. I've read all of her other books. I really like her writing. I didn't like her like debut book. What was that one called? The Friend Zone. I didn't like that one. I DNF'd that one. But the rest of her books, I either gave 4 or 5 stars to. So I do want to read this one. And then Chloe Leese wrote one of my favorite romances of all time, The Mistletoe Motive. And so this is like her newer series. It's like an opposites attract fake dating situation. So I have them on the maybe pile, but honestly, as I'm like talking through it, I'm just gonna keep them. Okay, so those are the ones that I've already decided I'm for sure getting rid of. Now let's go to my shelves and get rid of some books. Okay, first up we have my TBR cart. So I already know that I'm gonna be getting rid of these 2 Julia Gray books. I just kind of lost interest in this series. I read the first 3 books and honestly I just don't care anymore. So I'm just gonna get rid of these because I just don't care. The rest of these though, I am still very much interested in reading. Honestly, I'm gonna add those 2 romance books right here in this little gap. Now that I decided to keep them, and they fit perfectly, look at that. And then it's just like the Chloe Walsh books. I'm gonna keep those. I'll be reading this one this month. Yeah, I'm keeping all of those. Okay, now we have this shelf where I'm not gonna get rid of any of these. I'm not gonna get rid of any of my Veronica Speedwell books, but like I said, the Lady Julia Gray books, I did enjoy the first one. I was intrigued to keep going after that, but these second 2, the second and the third book, I'm just kind of like, this one was fine, this one was a little bit more boring, and I've lost interest. I'm okay to let this series go and just not finish the series. Maybe one day I'll decide to pick up the audiobooks for the last 2 and just finish it, but who knows. These are all staying though. And then down here on the bottom are just my manga and graphic novels, which I'm keeping all of them, so we'll move on. I do have a few books up on the top of that shelf that are like for decoration, but I'm keeping those. So we'll move on to this shelf here. So I know it's kind of hard to see this top shelf, but it's mostly just my Zodiac Academy books. This one though is the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac book 1, and the covers have changed and they match this series better, but I don't even know if I want to own this series physically. I might just read it on my Kindle, but I don't want a book cover that doesn't match, so I'm just gonna get rid of this one. I have already read it and I did enjoy it, but since the cover's changed, I'm not going to keep this cover. On this second shelf here, listen, I really like the sprayed edges and I like how they look. I like how they look on my shelf. However, I hated this book. I hated it. I didn't enjoy it. Looking at it makes me want to throw it. And I know there are so many people that desperately want these sprayed edges, so I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of this puppy. Also, listen, I've talked about how I'm a paperback bitch now, and I have a bunch of books in hardcovers that I am choosing to replace with the paperbacks. And this series, while I do really enjoy it, even though I feel like it's getting to be a little bit too convoluted and too long, I'm still going to continue the series, but the paperbacks are available immediately, so I don't have to wait for the paperbacks to come out. So I do already, well, Cami, shout out to Cami from Burrows and Books, bestie, said that she would give me the first 3 From Blood and Ash books in paperback. And so I just need to get the 2 prequel books and The War of Two Queens in paperbacks. So I'm gonna let go of the hardcovers of these because I want the paperbacks. This space will be filled with the paperbacks whenever I get them. So I'm just gonna move my little cute little fairy over here. Okay, so these two shelves. Last time I did an unhaul, I thought about getting rid of the Truth Witch series because, again, I'm a little bit losing interest in this. There's one book left. There's one book left. I will read it, but I don't think it's going to like make me want to ever reread this series. I have reread it and I do really, really like the first book. Like, this is a YA fantasy series that I would recommend, but I don't think I need to own the series. So I think I'm gonna finally get rid of these. And then, like I said, I've begun to replace my hardcovers with paperbacks, and this is one of those situations where I really wanted the paperbacks of the series, and so I found them all on my besties trip. They're sitting right here. I found them all in paperback. These two I got from Half Price Books for $9, and then this one I randomly found at a little indie bookstore in Minnesota. So I have them all. Oh, they're not in the right order. Now they are. Also, I love the colors of the spine. And oh, it's cute. I would replace the Nevernight books, but God's Grave and Dark Dawn are signed first editions, and God's Grave has a doodle, so I don't want to get rid of that. So I'm just going to keep the hardcovers of these. Okay, then on this shelf, I'm definitely keeping my Wayward Children's books. However, I do think I'm going to let go of A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. This was fun in the moment, but I'll never reread this, so I'm just going to let it go, and hopefully somebody else can find it and enjoy it. Okay, another confession here. I love Erin Morgenstern's books. However, I did just buy the UK paperbacks because I really like those covers. I do really like these two covers. I don't like the US paperback for A Starless Sea, but Brandon, this is his favorite book, or one of his favorite books, and he has a little collection of different editions of The Night Circus, and he does not have the hardcover because I have it, so he's like, I don't need to get it if you have it already. So I'm just gonna move this over to his shelf by his little collection. So it's kind of like unhauling it, but not really. But yeah, I'll definitely be replacing them and putting those on the shelf when I get them. I feel like this whole unhaul is me going, I still love this book, but I'm going to replace it with a paperback, and that's what's going to happen with this one. I do have this tabbed, I didn't even realize, but it's just tabs. It's not annotated or anything, but it's the Book of the Month edition, so I'm just going to get rid of this one, and when I find it at a thrift store or in a Half Price Books, I'll replace it with a paperback. So gonna get rid of this one. Okay, I have so this is the signed Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which, like, it's cute and all, but this one is a signed Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, but the dust jacket didn't come with it because I got it at Half Price Books. So this one just has, like, the regular dust jacket of it, which it's still cute and all. Like, these are still cute covers, but these paperbacks fit the vibe of the story so much better. It's a whimsical fairy tale, and this just feels like the story more, and I just think these covers are so pretty, and they're paperbacks. So I got those, replacing them. Oh, what do you know? Two of my favorite fantasies, Strange the Dreamer and Muse of Nightmares, these ones also are getting replaced with the paperbacks. This one I did also tab in. I didn't ever annotate in it, but when I reread it, I will annotate in it, but I'm going to annotate in the paperback. And, like, I don't know if I really like these covers, like the super shiny. I don't know if I really care about these covers, so I don't need to keep them. I do really like the paperback covers, so those will be coming as well. It's gonna look so bare now because I don't have the books to replace them quite yet, but they're coming. These I'm all keeping. This one I did really enjoy, but I don't know if I'll ever reread it. I did really like it though, but, like, I just don't think I need to hold on to this one, so I'm gonna let this one go. Maybe, you know what, I'll put this I'll put this like this for right now until, that way it holds them up, but until I get my replacements of all of those books that I just went through. Okay, these last 2 shelves, I don't think I'm getting rid of anything. If I did, maybe at a later time, I would get rid of the Folk of the Air series and replace them with paperbacks. Like, that's my thing now, I guess. And maybe I would do the same for Ninth House and Hellbent, but I don't have those coming right now in order to replace them. All of the other ones that I have replaced with paperbacks, like, I will be getting soon, so that's why I feel okay to let them go right now. But down the line, those might be going and getting replaced. And then these are like my nostalgic books that I'm not gonna let go. Oh, and right here, right next to this, like in this little like cubby that these shelves have created. So I do have the box set of the Shatter Me series. I've read the first 3, but not the last 3. So I do want to do those. So I'm gonna reorganize my shelves a bit so that I can fit that on there. And then this stack right here is like duplicates of books I already own, and I don't need these duplicates. Like the Magnolia Park series, I bought these, like panic bought these when I thought the covers were gonna go away, and I don't know why I did that, because I have the covers already and they're annotated and they're like loved, and I don't need another series, like I don't need another copy of them for literally any reason. Also, I don't like how big the Orion like traditionally published ones are. I don't like how like huge these paperbacks are. So I'm gonna let go of those. These are some other books that I just like, I have copies of them already. Like they're Sarah J Maas books, but I just like have them randomly, and it was for if I ever got dust jackets, like new dust jackets. They were just like books to put the dust jackets on, but I have found that the dimensions have changed with the new books. And so some of the dust jackets don't fit these like old ones properly. And so I'm like, I'll just get a box set if I ever need it. I don't need to sit here and like have these sitting here waiting, because it's not even the whole series. It's just like random books. So those are all gonna go. Then we have my Sarah J Maas shelf, which none of those books that are on the shelves are going. It's just those like duplicate ones over in the corner over here that I showed you, but they don't even fit on the shelf. So, but yeah, all of those are staying. So we'll move over here. Harry Potter books are all staying. Let's see, this shelf, these are all staying. All right, from these shelves, I know I'm going to for sure get rid of The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I DNF'd this book and did not enjoy it. Wouldn't recommend it, wouldn't read it again, so it can go. I also kind of feel like Life's Too Short I could let go of. Like, this one was fine. I did like this one, but I don't see myself ever rereading it. I have so many other romances that I loved more than this one that if I was ever going to reread a romance, it would not be this one. So I think this one can go as well. The rest of these, though, are all going to stay. And then from this shelf, most of these will stay except for Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. I gave this book 2 stars. I really did not enjoy it. I love the cover, and I love that it like kind of matches the cover of Every Summer After. I really like the pinks and purples and stuff, but that's not a good enough reason for me to keep it. It is nice and floppy. Again, not enough good enough reason for me to keep it, but yeah, I didn't enjoy this one. It was disappointing, so I'm gonna let that one go. And then my last 2 shelves, so I have my like Penelope Douglas shelf and Dark Romance shelf. So I'm keeping all of those. I really like all of those books, so those are all staying. And then the very bottom one, I don't know how to categorize these books, but I do know that I'm not getting rid of any of them. And then I have all of my like nonfiction and field guide stuff, so I'm keeping all of those as well. So that is the unhaul. Let's look and count how many books I got rid of. Okay, it's been a couple days since I've filmed the like main portion of this unhaul, but I have 8 more books here that I am going to be adding to this unhaul. So the first ones I'm going to talk about are just books that I actually really love, and that is the Boys of Tommen books by Chloe Walsh. So the first one is Binding 13, second one is Keeping 13, and then these 2 I haven't read yet, number 3 Saving 6, and then number 4 Redeeming 6. Now I bought these, so I bought these when I read them, whenever that was. And then it got announced that they were getting new covers. And so I bought Saving 6 and Redeeming 6 in the original like self-published covers. And there's two different types of new covers that she released. One of them I really, really don't like. They look kind of like Colleen Hoover books, and I just do not like the style of that. And then the other style of cover I actually do like. It's like if I went on Amazon and ordered the books, that's the style that I would get. And the rest of the series are going to match those covers. So while I do still like these covers, I think I'd rather have the matching ones. So even though I haven't read these two yet, and I do like these covers, I'd rather have the matching set rather than having these 4 in the original covers and then the rest of the books in the new style covers. So all that to say is I'm getting rid of these 4 and I'll be replacing them with the new style covers. 2 other books that I read since I filmed the main portion of the unhaul, and I won't reread them. I don't want them anymore. The first one is A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir by Lady Trent by Marie Brennan. I DNF'd this one about halfway through. It just wasn't for me, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. And then Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe Leese. I think I gave this like 3 stars. I felt very meh towards it, so I don't need to keep it. I read it now. It's done its purpose. I can pass it along. And then the other 2 are books that I haven't read yet, but I have just lost interest in. So they were on my TBR cart, but I am taking them off and getting rid of them. So the first one is The Happy Ever Playlist by Abby Jimenez, because I don't think it's going to hit as much as her 2 recent ones have. And if it does, I can always get a different copy. This one has like some minor damage on it anyways. So I'm just gonna let this one go, and I'll read it when I read it, and if I really like it, then I'll get it again. But if it's just one that like I'm gonna read one time and I'll unhaul later anyways, like I don't need to have it. And then the last one is What Lies Beyond the Realms by Ashley R. O'Donovan. So I bought this one because I saw like one quote, one annotation on Instagram, and then immediately bought it. But after reading some reviews of this book and seeing I did see some like very mild spoilers for this, I just lost interest in this, and it just doesn't seem like it would be my kind of book anymore. After reading those reviews and then seeing like the couple mild spoilers of things that happen in here, I don't want to read this. So I'm gonna let this one go. Yeah, 8 more books added to this unhaul. So now going back to the past me from the main portion of this unhaul to kind of wrap things up and give you a final tally for the books that I'm unhauling this time. Okay, so here are all of the books that I am unhauling. When I counted, I think I got 52, so it was a bit more than I thought, which is actually kind of great. But keep in mind that some of these that I am unhauling, I am just replacing with the paperbacks. So there's, let's see, how many am I replacing? 1, 2, 3. There's 17 that I had as hardcovers, but I'm replacing as paperbacks. There's some here that are duplicates of books I already own and just don't need extra copies of. So keep that in mind. But yeah, 52 books, not too shabby. I will likely be posting most of these on my Pango Books shop. But yeah, not too shabby. I am quite pleased with all of this. So over 50 books, not too bad. If you made it to the end of this video, leave the, just leave the book stack emoji down in the comments down below to let me know that you made it to the end of this video. And again, don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I also have my Goodreads link down below if you want to follow me on there for more bookish content from me. And thank you again so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!